spiel and we'll get started, you guys. Maybe. Okay. All right. What, Lisa? Okay, great. I'm so bad with names, so I'm like, all right, we're gonna do this. Hello, thank you so much for joining me for Pilates Sculpt, all levels. My name is Audra, and I forgot one of my props. Give me 1 second. Let me try that. See, told you guys, don't have it together today. All right, round 2, let's try that again. Hi, welcome, you're fine. How's your body feeling today? Good. All right. Hello, thank you for joining me for Pilates Sculpt, all levels. My name is Audra, and today we're going to be using weights and a ball. If at home you don't have one of those props, that's okay. If you don't have a ball, you can fold a pillow a couple times and put it behind your back when we need it. And if you don't have weights, that's also fine. You can use water gallon jugs, canned goods, or just squeeze your own beautiful muscles. As always, don't do anything that doesn't feel right for your body. Modifications are great. Let's get started standing. We're just going to do a little body scan while we're standing. So just start to notice where your weight is in your feet, right? If your weight is all in your heels or all in your toes, see if you can center it just a little bit. So you've got pretty much even pressure between your heels and toes, maybe a slight bit more weight on your forefoot. And then bring your attention up to your knees, right? Are they bent? Are they hyperextended? Or are they just nice and set over your ankle joint? And then same with the hips, right? Are your hip bones pointing down, pointing up, or straight ahead? And then if you think of your pelvis like a soup pot, your ribs are just the lid, right? And we don't want steam to escape. Just gently set it down. Let your shoulders be nice and relaxed. And then just notice where your head is. So if you tend to have your head forward in space, see if you can just drag your nose back without lifting from the ribs. And then just nod your chin, hollow out from the front of your body. We're gonna roll it down, see how our spine feels. Good. And just hold here for a second. You can shift your weight forward and back a couple of times. And then bend one knee, see if you can keep that heel on the ground. And switch sides. Just back and forth. Letting your spine dangle. Couple more. Come back to center. Bring your hands to one side. And notice how this might feel different in your hamstrings. And then hands up and over to the other side. Come back to center. Push into your feet. You can soften your knees. We're going to roll all the way back up. Let your head and shoulders dangle until the end. And see if you can stack knees over ankles, lengthening through the crown of your head. Yeah. And then nod, hollow, roll it all the way back down. And we're coming on to hands and knees. Now, with hands and knees, try to bring your hands directly underneath your shoulders. If you need to be on your forearms, it's fine. If you need to hold on to your weights, it's also fine. We're going to think about rotating our upper arm bone externally slightly. And then imagine pulling your hands towards your knees to get a little bit of connection through your ribs. Great. And we just start with a little kitty cat pause. We're going to press, lift. See what your body says, right? So if one side is really hard and there's collapsing, just see if you can press both knees down into the ground and maybe imagine them widening and see if that helps. You can also push more into the ground with your other hand. Using your breath here, as you inhale, try to inflate into the back of your body. And as you exhale, try to exhale from the front. Good. Nice job, everybody. Now on this next one, hold. slide your opposite foot out, pushing into your heel. And then slide it back in. Other side. Now, if being on 2 points of contact with the floor isn't working for you, that's okay. You can keep your hand down and just slide your foot. Good. Now, as you slide your foot, if you like, you can start to hover it off the ground, but imagine pushing it through wet sand. Now, just for fun, we're going to do something a little bit more challenging. You guys ready? Same arm and leg. And hold it out for a second. Yeah, and then other side. It's so much harder, right? So as we do this, the leg that's stationary, push it down into the ground, find your abs, and then push that hand into the ground. Good. Yeah, belly button up just a tiny bit. Yeah, there you go. Now, if your leg comes up higher than your hips, if you have the range of motion in your hip joint itself, it's not bad, but most of us don't. So most of us steal the range from our low back. Last one, each side. Good. Yeah, Nancy. Last one, press yourselves into a little rest position, rolling out your wrists. And you can take your hands up and over to one side, push your hips away. And then other side. We are coming back onto all fours. So as your wrists start to get a little bit tired, feel free to adjust by coming onto forearms or using your weights. We're going to find that connection to the floor, lift your ribs and belly button, tuck your toes under, inhale, exhale, curl your tailbone towards your face slightly, press into the floor, hover your knees. Hold. And then tap one knee down. Come back to your hover. Tap the other knee down. Come back to your hover. Now, if for some reason that doesn't feel okay for you, you can instead bring both knees down, just lift one hip, lift one knee. Okay, no problem. Last set. Now extend one foot out, other foot comes to meet it, lengthening through the crown of your head. Tuck your tailbone under slightly and lift your belly button up more towards the sky. Yeah, nice. Nancy, hip bones up. Thank you. Yeah, little less through your thoracic, Suze. Yeah, good. Now, if it's appropriate for you and your body, bend one knee underneath you, reach it back. Other side. Now, once again, if you need weights, that's all right. It just offloads those wrists a little bit. Shoulder blades rotating. Use your breath. 2 more. Last set. Knees down. Knees lift. Good. Tap the knees down. Lift them back up. Yeah. Now, if that is too much for you, no worries. Come on to all fours. Extend, lift, down, down. Okay. Otherwise, hinge around your shoulders, belly button up. Good. So when we do this, it is tempting to try to come into quadruped and then lift, but that's going to get you into your back. So I need you to come into a knee plank. Lift your belly button more. Yeah, even more. Good. Yeah, and then lift. Hips come with you. Yeah. And then slowly find that knee plank again. And then lift through the crown of your head as you tap your toes down or your knees down. So your ears will lift a little. Yeah. Good. And then get out of the way up. Lift your belly button more. Tuck your tailbone slightly. Yeah. Good. Last 2. Last 1. Knees down. Press yourself into a rest position. Those were awesome, you guys. How did they feel? So good? All right. We're going to come to standing. You guys excited to be done with planks for now? Extend one leg at a time. Press your hips up and start to pedal through your feet. And dangle out of your hips. Scoop and roll it up. Nice job. Now, first, we're going to breathe for a second. So it's really important. Bring your hands like right behind your ribs. Now, as you breathe, I want you to try to expand into your hands on your inhale. And then on your exhale, let everything kind of condense. 2 more. Good. Everyone feel how if you send that oxygen kind of down and wide, it creates that even intra-abdominal pressure. If you think of your torso like a soda can, we want the air to fill the whole can. It will help alleviate some low back tension when we're holding a forward kind of fold posture. Relax your shoulders. As you breathe, it's tempting to kind of lift the diaphragm, but think about it just expanding wide everywhere. Good. Now, we're going to bring our feet together. Squeeze those inner thighs as if you're trying to pop a balloon. And then find your glutes. We're going to rotate our knees slightly externally. So now our glutes are on, yeah? Now bend your knees, bend at the hips into this kind of little athletic stance. Bend forward more, yeah. So stick your butt out at Nancy. There you go, yeah. Sorry, Nancy. Good. Now, hopefully you all feel your glutes kicking on, right? Bring your feet closer together. Yeah, and then think about the glutes helping. Yeah, good. Now hands here. Inhale. Good. And then exhale from the front. Now you can keep your hands here or bring them in front of you. We're going to slide one foot back. And then bring it in. Now, if you are on a squishy mat, great. That is an added balance challenge. So if your foot is too wobbly and your knee can't hang out, come off of the mat. Right? We're trying to find nice and even engagement through our glute, our quad, our hamstring, our inner thigh. Spreading your toes wide, getting that arch to activate a little bit. How's this feeling on that stabilizing side? Yeah? Good. Anybody not feeling their glute a little bit? Great. 3 more. Now, when you press in with your hands, making sure that you're not doing the like, please let this be over for like prayer pose from the shoulders. We want to think about the armpits. So serratus and oblique here. Last one like this. And you can either keep that toe totally extended or bring it in slightly. Now ignore that leg. This front knee is still bent. We are going to hip hinge. So rotate your hip bones around your thigh bone. We're eccentrically lengthening that glute. Push into the ground, bring it back up. Try not to let the spine respond. First one never counts, right? So imagine you have a dowel rod taped to your back. You're just going to get that dowel rod to be flat and then back up. Good. Now, this I know seems kind of pedantic, but look down at the ground and back up. If we try to keep a fixed position in front of us, our spine is going to respond. Good. Everybody feeling that cheek? Yeah, good. 2 more like this. And then you have the option of floating that leg up. Now remember, if all of a sudden you can't control it, tap the toe down. Right? we do want to challenge our nervous system, but we don't want to challenge it so much that we lose control. Remember, a safe nervous system is a happy nervous system, is a productive nervous system, right? Couple more here. Yeah. 2. Nice job, everybody. Last one. Now we're going to hip hinge, slide that foot back. Bend both knees, rotate up slightly, tap the knee down if you can. Now, check out where this front knee is. If it's perfectly stacked, and you're perfectly stacked, that is a lot of quad. So that's why we're letting our hips slide back a little. It is okay for your knee to go past your toe, okay? We just don't wanna escalator it. So push down, come into more of that hip hinge, bring it in, come up. Let's try that again. Now, if for any reason coming down doesn't feel great, you don't have to, right? You can, in fact, just find this, maybe rotate slightly, and then back. Good. I know that glute's working a lot, but we found it first. Now, hopefully, it will do its job. Enough. Good. So this is slightly different than a regular lunge. It's more of a split squat. 2 more. Press down to lift yourself up. Slide in. Last one like this. Good, everybody. Yeah. Now we get to slide it out. Good. Hold. I'm going to turn to the side here. All right. Now that foot can be wherever it needs to be. Keep that knee in line with your second and third toe. Rotate slightly towards that front leg, like that inner thigh is pulling you. Come back to center. Rotate away. That glute is spiraling your thigh bone. Yeah. Come back. Rotate down. Now, as we do this, notice what's initiating that move. If it's shoulder, see if you can get more hip bone, right? So it's that hip bone rotating to point towards that inner thigh. And then it's the hip bone rotating up. If you want, you can come into a little T position and try it. It is much harder. Yeah. Last set. Try it if you want to try it on the floor. Yeah. So you have just a little bit more even through big toe mound. Yeah, yeah. Last one. And come all the way up. Guess what, you guys? Other side. So find that squeeze, inner thighs together, right? Then rotate just a little from the glute, and then come into that athletic stance. Now, as we start this, keep in mind, one side might feel different than the other. Lisa, rotate your right knee slightly. Yeah. Didn't think I could see you, did you? Good. And then Ellen, bend forward just a teeny bit more. Yeah. If that starts not feeling great on your back, breathe into this area. Yeah, good. Hey, Suze, see if you can sink down into that glute just a little more. Yeah, good. And Lisa, if it starts getting too wobbly, come off of the mat. Try it on the floor for a couple. And then, Garrett, I also want you to bend forward a tiny bit more. Lift your hip. Yep, there you go. Is that more exciting on the glute? Yeah. You're welcome, everybody. Good. 2 more. like this. Last set. And then we hip hinge, right? So imagine you've got that dowel rod. We are rotating our hip bones around our thigh bone. Press, squeeze, and come up. Good, Nancy, shoulders. Thank you. Now, let's talk about the foot. Nice wide toes. Push into your big toe mound so that force transfers up your soleus, hamstring, and then glute. So we're trying to find that whole chain, right? From the ground up. A lot of times with mat work, I think because it's an open chain, we sometimes forget that the floor can work to close our chain, which changes like muscle recruitment, right? So try one where you just bend, and then try one where you push into the floor to get that activation. Yeah. Now, if you want, of course, you can float that foot. Now, if, for example, you're like me, I can get a lot out of this one. I'm almost at a point with this foot where I can easily move without it, but I'm not quite there. So holding on to something, even just one finger, tells the nervous system that it's safe. Press into the floor, squeeze. Yeah, nice job, everybody. Just a few more. Trying to keep that knee at kind of an even angle, right? So we're not straightening and then bending. We are trying to come into hip extension before knee extension. So keep the knee bent the whole time. Good. Last one like this. Then we get to change it up. You ready? Slide it out as we bend. Whoop. Drag yourself down. Good. Let's check it out on this one. Just see where the knee wants to go. And then even though it's fine for the knee to go past the toe, we're still letting those hips come back slightly, pushing straight down to elevator up, and then drag it in. Good. And then slide it out. It's a couple different moves. Nancy, knee out to the side. Nope, not foot, knee. Bring your foot back. Rotate your upper thigh bone. There. Yeah. Boom. Good. Now, is it bad for your knee to go over your mid foot? No. It's just a position. However, if we're in the habit of only going into that position, eventually that's the habit our body uses all the time, right? So we're trying to find maybe a pattern that's a little bit harder while we're in a controlled environment, so we can find muscles that maybe don't love to do their job and do it where we're not like traversing the environment, right? One more. Nancy, slide it back flat first. Boom. Yeah, then drag. Good. Then come up. Now, you get to push that foot back, hold, and we rotate. And our thigh pulls that hip bone towards it. And then push into the floor. Recruit that glute to rotate off. Notice how my knee isn't coming along for the ride. Yeah. And then back, rotate. And then back. Good. Back and forth. And just start to notice. Are you trying to lead with the shoulder? If you are, all that is your nervous system trying to stay balanced, right? So see if you can breathe and get that rotation to happen more from the hip joint, right? It is your pelvis rotating on your femur. Good. Now, of course, if you want, you can try lifting that leg. It's much harder. Good. So the hip joint is really cool because your femur can act on the pelvis, your pelvis can act on the femur, or both. Can happen at once, you guys. How neat is that? I'm the only one excited. I see how it is. Last one. Come on up. All right, walk it out. Gonna get a little glute stretch. So making sure that you're either pointing or flexing, but not just letting that ankle go into crazy positions. And you can hold on to something if you need. You can always sit down if you need to. Now, tuck your tailbone under, and now stick your booty out. It changes the stretch entirely, yeah? One more. Sue's shoulders. Thank you. And then other side. Find your position, little tuck, and then extend. 2. Last one. Come all the way up. Nice job. Bring your feet in line with your hip bones. Yeah. Now, if they're too close together, it's going to be tricky. But first, focus on one foot. Pick a foot, does not matter to me. Push that foot into the ground. Squeeze the glute slightly forward. Lift the other foot. We're just going to see what happens. Now, if your hips came forward, that's your body trying to balance itself. Restack. Try to keep everything directly over your arch. Good. Yeah. Nice. Ribs sinking down. Beautiful. Now, if you need to, of course, you can tap that toe down. It's fine. Good. Lift your ears. Yeah. Good. 4, 3. Notice how the longer you hold it, the harder it is. Yeah. Other side. So once again, push into that foot. Squeeze the glute forward without leaning back. And then see. Now, one thing that's kind of neat about these is if your foot starts to move, that's an ankle strategy to help you balance, right? You need adequate mobility through your ankle to be able to do that. You also need strength in your hips, right? So if this is happening, you can catch yourself, which is one reason the glute work we just did is so important. Couple more breaths here. 3, 2. Yeah. See how much easier that is? Yeah. And last one. Okay. Feet back in line. Hop one heel up. I know it's super sassy. We're going to sink down. Inhale. Exhale, float that foot. See what your body just did. Press, lift. Tap it down. Sink. So weight on both. Ellen, make sure your knee stays over your second and third toe if you can, your left knee. Yeah, a little less. Yeah, perfect. Inhale, exhale, then hold it isometrically, and then come up. Good. Couple more. So we're thinking about that glute. That inner thigh is also helping. Of course, our core is. Couple more. So get as low as you can control. Boom, isometric hold. And then lift. Good. One more. Try not to let that knee come across. Last one. See where it is here. So if your heel likes to come across, that immediately puts that knee in that position. So keep rotating and then lift. And then come up. Good. Other side. Sink it down. See where that knee wants to go. See where that heel wants to go. Right? And then lift. See what your body just did to stabilize itself, right? One side is probably going to be a little different than the other. That's okay. It's just information, right? Good. So the other thing to think about is when you lift the foot, what do your hips do, right? So for example, on this side, my hips want to swing to the side so they don't have to work, right? So if you have that happen, see if you can breathe through it and preemptively just say, hey, we don't have to do that, friends, right? You can stay a little bit more centralized. Good, nice. Finding that arch, good. Rotate your knee out to full, yeah, yep. Without supinating. So rotate your toes forward more. Yeah, then rotate your upper thigh, yeah, good. I know that probably feels crazy, but it looks really good. 2 more. Last one, we're gonna hold that isometric contraction and then press, lift. Grab your weights, friends. Now, we can keep both feet down, or if you're excited to work balance, you're gonna lift a foot. Good. And as we do our bicep curl, we're actually going to supinate and then slowly lower as our hands move. So we start like a hammer curl, we end like a bicep curl. Good. It's because our biceps are also a supinator. Good. And then resist gravity on the way down. I know the bicep curl here is not the hardest thing in the world. If you're like, I would really like it to be harder, Audra, great. You can put both weights in a hand. Keep it slow on the way down. And then when we switch legs and do this again, you can just switch arms. Oh, I'm the only one? Okay, fine. 2 more. Last one. Now, we're gonna hold it at the shoulder. Think about the shoulder blades smiling. Make sure that your elbows aren't back, but ever so slightly in front of your rib cage. Exhale, arms come overhead. Try to close your ribs for me just a little, like this. Yeah, and then slowly lower. Garrett, bring your elbows forward slightly. Yeah. So you look so scared. I'm just watching. You literally froze like a deer in the headlights. You went, that's fine, I'm just watching. That looks great. 2 more, good. Yeah, last one. Good, now we're going to bend forward slightly, bring your elbows in line with your ribs. Now, when we do this, real quickly, it's pretty tempting to be here, but instead I would like your shoulder blades to posteriorly tilt. They're gonna be set, so we're not overly retracting. Okay, I know that's crazy to think about. So if it's hard for you to find, set your weights down, bring your hands onto your shoulders real quickly. Good. And just think of your shoulder blades posteriorly tilting. Notice how your elbows have to come forward. Yeah. 2 more. Don't let them go back as far, Suze. Yeah. Last one. Boom. Now, hold that position. Elbows come into your, yeah, good. Hold that position. Bend forward. Hold that position, straighten your arms. Okay. That is what we're going to find with the weights. So find that position. Straighten your arms, hold. Yeah. Everybody squeezing their triceps a little? Slowly lower. Reset your shoulder blades, hold. Now, a lot of times, slowly lower, reset. A lot of times if we go past our range with that set shoulder blade, hold it, we get into our neck and our pec minor overly helps, right? So we are setting them and then holding that tricep for 5, 4, 3, 2. That hold will also really let you see what's working. Don't retract as much. Widen through your shoulder blades like you're taking off a big jacket. So instead of this, yeah, good. And then push your knuckles down slightly. Yeah, good. Does that feel better in the neck? Good. 2 more like this. Yeah. Guess what? Feet together. Bicep curls other side. So find your setup. Good. And boom. Now, as you start to fatigue, if this is starting to happen, tap your toe down, reconnect. Oh my gosh. I just got sweat in my eyes, so it's going to look like I'm winking at all of you. Oh, hey, what's up? Or I'm going to start looking like a pirate. Either way, I apologize. But now, if you used those weights on the other side, now it's the opportunity. Now, if you notice, I'm using my hand on the other side to get me through the tricky part. That's okay. So I'm controlling it on the way down. I'm loading it eccentrically. And that eccentric load helps us get stronger faster. 2 more. How's this side feeling, everybody? Great. Good. Boom. Now we're going to bring those weights to our shoulders. Once again, elbows can be slightly forward. Yeah. And then this time we're going to push one arm, switch. So it's going to challenge your balance more. So exciting, yeah? Think about pushing from that armpit as opposed to lifting from your neck. Good. 2 more. Last one. You know what this is good for? Putting dishes away, installing sheetrock, apparently. Last set. And then we bring it down. Wrap those elbows back, set your shoulders. And then push your knuckles down and back slightly. Hold, widening through your collarbones. And then let them bend. Down, squeeze the triceps here. Garrett, I also want you to think about taking off a big jacket. Widen your shoulders. Yeah, and lift your ears slightly. There. Do you feel more tricep there? Yeah, you're welcome. Good. Nancy, you don't have to have a death grip. It's okay. Yeah, there you go. Good. Good. Couple more. Last one. Hold. Hold. Reach long through your knuckles and down slightly. Lift your collarbones. Lift your gaze slightly. 3, 2, 1. Come down onto all fours. Now, with this is going to have a slightly different line of pull than this or this, okay? So first we're going to find that posterior tilt again. So without the ribs popping, right? No 90s hip hop dance moves, no matter what song plays. Okay, so relax your shoulders, relax your elbows. Think about your shoulder blades going boop. Elbows will come forward. Try it. Forward elbows. Forward elbows. Yes. Now only back to center forward. See how the shoulder blades are responding. Good. We are going to row, and this is the position I want you to find. So here, shoulder blades draw down, and then bend your elbows. Okay. Do you feel your shoulder blades? Little baby bit. Okay. So it's less of just a big retraction. It's a very specific style of move, so I know it's a little different. Now, if this is where you need to be, that is okay. The upright position is a little easier to find. If you're like, nah, I got this. We're not bringing it here because that's that shoulder dumping forward with anterior translation. We are widening, we are set. You're just bringing it to about in line with the ribs, dragging the elbow down, and we hold. Okay. Yeah. Find your mid back. We're trying to find our postural muscles, but a lot of times our rhomboids, because they are downward rotators, help override our serratus anterior, which are upward rotators, which is why we're trying to find lower trapezius more than rhomboids here, right? So, and Lisa, bring your ribs up just a little. Yeah, good. Good. Now, once again, if that range is too much, you can be here, and it might be easier to find. But we got two more. Nice. Good job, everybody. Let's get those abs fired up. Sound good? Great. Now, it's not a bad idea to have your weight within grabbing distance. Can you use the ball? Once again, if you're at home and you don't have a ball, grab a pillow. We're going to bring it about at mid-thoracic, maybe lower thoracic. Yeah. Lengthen through your ears and just get a little extension here through your whole spine. Now, hollow out through the front of your body, nod your chin, exhale, roll your collarbones forward. Good. Now, first one never really counts. It's just a moment to see where you are. So if the ball is a little too close to your hips, you can move it back. If it's too far away, you can move it closer. And you don't have to be married to this position, right? Good. It's just about finding where you are. Resisting gravity on the way down, please. Now, this one, curl forward, bring your hands forward, push into an imaginary surface, come down just a fraction of an inch. Yeah, there you go. And then bring your hands up, looking forward, interlace, hold. So notice how you just took a little bit of weight off the ball. It's a lot of work. Good, you slowly extend. Now, if you come up so high, you're coming into extra hip flexion. That could just be your hip flexors trying to override your abs. So think more about sinking the ribs down as you push forward. Yeah. And then we bring it up. Interlace, good. Hold and slowly lower. Nice. Anybody want to step it up? Great, I'll tell you how. Use your weight. Hold it at the chest and slowly resist the weight. Exhale, curl forward. Bring one hand forward. Hold. Feel how much more work that is, yeah? And slowly extend. Now, when you come up, you'll use the other hand. Bring it back. Last two. Now, if you don't want to use the weight, do you have to? Gosh, no. Last one. Now, if you'd like more excitement, bring that weight behind your head without putting more weight on the ball. For 4, 3, 2, anybody else trembling? Yeah, slowly extend and move the weight away from you. Good. Now, interlace those hands again. They are a hammock for your head. Nod your chin and just lower your ribs enough that you're in a straight line this time as opposed to a curl. I would move away from the ball a little bit. Yeah, good. Now, keep those ears lengthening behind you. Without changing the shape of your spine, inhale, exhale, take 1 pound of weight off the ball. Hold. Did everybody feel their deep abdominals kick on there? Yeah, and then just relax without extending. Exhale. Now, I know this is kind of a weird thing to think about, but if you think of opening your armpits a little, that should help. So instead of your elbows being pointed up, yeah, they can still be in your periphery. Yeah, just open them backwards. Yes, good. And then relax. That should just help that serratus oblique connection a little bit. 2 more. Last one, and hold. 3, 2, and extend over. Elise, how you doing there? All right, widen through your elbows if they need to, and then bring yourself back. Now for this first one, we're gonna move from the top down, then we're reversing it. So nod your chin, hollow out through the front of your body, sinking your ribs. Eventually your tailbone will respond, yeah? Good. Now slowly lower. Now this time we're reversing it, okay? Curl your tailbone towards your face, sink the bottom of your ribs down, and then your collarbones come up and forward. Felt a little different, right? You guys are like, I guess. Let's try it again, top down first. Nod your chin, hollow out, curl forward, and then slowly lengthen. And then this one, you're gonna go the opposite way. So tailbone to your face, pull your belly button back, lower ribs, collarbones, head, yeah. We get 1 more each way. We're just telling our spine it can move in different ways from the same muscles, right? Still using those abs. And down. Last one, curl the tailbone first. Good. Nice job. Bring your hands forward. Come up just a tiny bit. Hands come back behind your head. Now think about your ribs, bless you, rotating. So you're going to push one side of your ribs back, other side comes forward, come back to center. Good. And again. Now, as our abs get tired, it's really easy to try to use our armpits here, right? So if you need to, take a break. Try to keep both hips nice and evenly weighted. Good. Good. Nice job, everybody. Your elbows need to come along for the ride, which is another reason we kind of just support our head, right? It also allows us to kind of set our shoulders so they can hang out with the rib cage. 1 more each direction. Glorious. And extend, relax. Nice job, you guys. How did those feel? I'll take your silence as a fantastic. Did you just say yes? Oh, good. We're gonna nod and bring it up. Go ahead, bring that ball in between your knees. Think about drawing your shoulder blades down your back, restacking. Now, everybody's spine shape is different. So I don't care if yours matches mine, but I would like you to try to roll your sits bones forward. It'll be easier to sit up tall. Good. Think about those armpits connecting down, so lat. Now curl your tailbone towards your face as you roll back a little. Maybe your arms straighten, maybe they don't. And then dive forward, restack. Let's do that again, shall we? Curl, roll, just go to where you feel challenged, but not like it's not doable, right? Now, if I'm trying to move through my spine without engaging my abs, I'm not really connected. It's a lot of hip flexor, and I kind of feel like my back is going into a lowercase c. So use your abs for support, right? You are drawing your pelvic floor, your transverse abdominis, your internal obliques all together. That rectus abdominis and those external obliques especially are then also helping with that curl. So you're stabilizing and then you're layering on. Good. Now, hold here. Keep those armpits drawing down. We take one arm and we open it. Good. And then back. Other side. Now, if you're like, that's too easy, I would like more challenge, great. You can let go. And back. If you're like, cool, Audra, but I want more work, I can accommodate you. Open, hold, curl back, curl forward, and back. Open, curl back, curl forward. Yeah, couple more. If you're like, I can almost get there, but then I get stuck, use your arms. It's fine. Yeah. Squeeze the ball if your hip flexors are trying to take over. Last one. Anybody else's obliques talking? Yeah. And come all the way up. Nice. All right. Arms come forward. We're going to roll all the way down. We're doing roll-ups. So if you have a prop you like for roll-ups, feel free to use it now. Now for this first one, let's just see what happens if you hold your breath. So inhale, hold your breath. It's a bit of a struggle, right? Now let's use our breath to our advantage this time. Exhale, curl and roll down. Now if roll-ups for you feel better with extended legs, it's fine. Now big inhale, big exhale. Maybe it's just a little easier. So let your nervous system kind of relax. You don't have to force it. Now, if for any reason roll-ups don't feel great for you, say your back is tight or your hip flexors are tight, and you feel like you have to kind of wrench yourself up. You can use your legs here, no problem. You can even go, uh-oh, I'm stuck, to the side, and just control it on the way down, right? No problem. Last one, bring it up. We're coming onto our side. Oh, hey, everybody, what's up? Now, we're not hanging out in slumber party shoulder, as tempting as it is, okay? So push the elbow into the ground to lift your ribs up. And then I'd like you to try to lift your ribs even higher. Even higher. Yeah, there you go. Good. Now, Garrett, even higher. Yeah, like you're making a rainbow shape, or you've got a candle underneath you. Yes. Good. Now, hold this. Push your knees down into the ground. So much that your glute kicks on and maybe you come into a knee plank. Good. Maybe this is where you are. That's fine. Maybe you're like, cool, I want more. Extend that top leg. Push that top foot down. That inner thigh should help you. Drive it down into the ground. And then slide that other foot out if you want. And hold. Now, the difference between pushing down with our feet and just trying to lift from our abs is super different in the shoulder, okay? So all of this is about it being a full body exercise. Now, whatever variation you're doing, rotate it to the front and then go to the other side. Once again, if you are on your hip, that's okay. If you're on your knees, it's great. If you're on your foot, fantastic. Both feet, amazing. And then rotate to center. back. Now, if you're on your knee, this might be what it looks like. If you're on your hip, the transition is just a little trickier, but you'll go onto the hip, and then you'll go to knee plank. Then you'll come back to the hip, okay? If you're on your hands, because your forearms don't like it, you might need a wider position of your feet. That's it. If you're extending your arm, reach it to the sky as opposed to back. It is helping lift you up. Good. Last set. Come back to center, knees down, press yourselves into a rest position, you guys. Hands up and over to one side, push your hips away. Other side. Now slide your elbows to your knees. You can either be in this Sphinx position or you can be in a quadruped position. It's up to you. We're going to bring our right hand to our right shoulder. And just let your shoulder blades melt out of your ear. Push that elbow away. So it's reaching long. And then try to rotate your ribs and come back. And again. Now, if you're on your hands and knees, you might be able to get more range, maybe not. Two more, trying to just rotate around the rib cage. And then other side. Let it lower if you have range for it. And then you can push the floor away to help you. Good. Our rib cage needs rotation, especially when we walk. Last two. Last one. Go ahead, come through your plank into your downward dog. Bring your feet closer to you and just kind of push away from the floor. So you're not loading into the shoulders. Your shoulders may shrug a little, that is fine. And walk your hands a little closer to your feet and dangle. And then roll all the way up. We're going to end with the teeniest bit of balance work. Bring your feet together like you're on a little tightrope. Now, if you want more challenge, of course, be on the mat. Good. Now, this might be enough challenge for you. Good. Relax your shoulders, everyone. Now, we're going to see what our ocular system tells us. It's exciting, yeah? We're going to bring a finger in front of our face. Now, don't move your chin. Keep your chin still, but keep looking at your finger. Now bring the finger across and out to the side. All of a sudden, it's way harder, right? So if you need to bring your feet just a little bit, slide them next to each other, that's okay too. Last one. Then let's switch feet. Now this time, we're going to challenge our vestibular system. Sounds sexy, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, now this time, our finger stays still. You're going to turn your head. Don't stop looking at your finger. Yeah, same. Couple more. Nice. Yeah. All right, everybody. I stand by my statement. Balance is sexy, right? It feels good to be able to like stay upright. We're going to rotate our hands up. We're going to extend our hands back. And then slide your shoulders to your ears, drop them straight down. Nice work. Give yourselves a round of applause. Awesome job. Thank you so much for joining me. How did everything feel, you guys? Thank you. I like the pause.